good this morning. Enjoyed it. Doesn't take much for me anymore. That's where I'm turning into old softy or what. But
That's good.
I like that. He's bigger softy. I'm awful thankful this morning. I truly am. Got a great congregation and thankful for it, but I'm also makes me a little nervous.
Yeah.
Not about failing or falling on my face. I don't care about that. I lost my pride in this thing a long time ago. I'm not afraid to get up here and embarrass myself, but I am fearful that that I'll waste an opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee you, we'll probably never be gathered in this manner again. Not just like this. I'm not going to take much time this morning. I want Chad to come and I want to hear him. And
Tiffany singing a song, Chad.
we'll let maybe Brandon come and close. But while I'm here, all I can do is be willing. What I found is that as long as I can get myself out of the way, just be obedient, then it'll be good. But I was thinking, I've had this on my mind, and I heard Dad talk about, well, I drove about 2,000 miles in 3 days up to New York and then on up to Maine and back and for work. And it's the first time I've been back up north in quite a while. It made me think about when I was young up in Michigan.
Yeah.
And it made me think about the drawing power of God.
Funny heart, don't you?
You know, you can fill your life with all sorts of things to try to drown out that drawing. You can cover yourself up with all manner of worldly things. I did.
I did too, son.
And sometimes the noise of this world is so loud that you can almost drown him out.
Yep.
Almost drown that little still voice that I believe speaks to every man and woman that's born. And you know, it's like Papa was praying about. The further away from the light that you get, the more and more the darkness consumes you.
Oh, yeah.
The harder it is to hear that little voice. And you know, there is a drawing power to this thing.
That's right.
While we were driving up there, and me and just another young man from work went, and he's in his early 20s, and we was talking a little bit, and it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning. We was on the final stretch, and I started getting awful sleepy. And he had laid his seat back and was taking a little nap there, or so I thought. I picked up my phone and I turned on some songs of Joey singing. And I just had it real quiet. I thought he was sleeping there. And you know, Joey started singing Troublesome Waters.
Yeah.
And I love the words to that song.
Yeah.
Troublesome waters around me now roll.
Yeah.
Rocking my boat and troubling my soul.
Yeah.
But underneath the water, there's an unseen hand that guides my boat. And you know what? When he got finished with that song there, and it got quiet, that young man, he looked over at me. I thought he was asleep. He looked over at me and said, "I've never heard something so sweet."
Yeah.
In all my life, listen, there's a drawing power.
There is.
Listen, the Spirit of God
Yeah.
is real.
Yeah.
This morning, listen, and if it doesn't stir you up, listen, and make you want to stand up and shout, thank you, sweet Master. Listen, then you need to be praying because something's wrong. People, when my Lord gets a hold of me, I feel like, listen, I can take on the whole world. Listen to me, you know what? Just like when Jesus started, listen, on his path there, people, he come to a couple little boats there, listen, and Peter was inside, you know what? And Jesus, listen, Peter didn't know who he was then, but listen, Jesus walked down and stood on Peter's boat, listen, and he told him, cast down a little bit into the water, you know what? Peter looked at him and said, Master, I've toiled all night long. We haven't caught anything. Listen, and you know what? I didn't finish there. There was something about this man that was speaking to Peter. Listen, because he said, nevertheless, we'll cast down and I'll let down the man. Listen, and when they cast out their net there, they couldn't even bring it up for the fishes. They were in it there. Listen, and you know what? When Simon saw it, listen, when Peter beheld it, he fell down at Jesus' knees. Listen, and you know what? He looked at him and said, depart from me, I am a sinful man, I'm not worthy. Listen, and you know what? Jesus looked at him and said, fear not, from this day forth, you're going to catch men. Listen, and the Bible says that they forsook all that they had and started following Jesus. Listen, that drawing power. It was speaking to him.
Yes, it was.
Just like it did to me. And you know, I had a friend up in Michigan when I was young, and I wasn't even in the church yet. But we were trying. We were trying to do better. And his name was Jeff Tarofsky. You remember him? He was a very intelligent young man. He was the valedictorian of our senior class. And you know, the first time that he ever come out to our church, he told me, he said, you know, that's the first time I've ever been in church. My parents have never taken me to church, never even spoke about church in our home. And you know what? He was so smart, Chad, that we would stay up late at night. You remember the phone calls? At all hours of the night, we would stay up talking about the Bible and talking about the Word of God. And he was so quick to question everything. Listen, he wanted everything laid out. Just like the scientific method there. He wanted everything to be answered in black and white. Listen, and I'll never forget the night that we was sitting there talking. And you know what? Listen, he told me, he said, when I'm in church, I feel good. I feel something come over me. But the next thought in my mind is to question it, to have something logically explained to me. And you know what? The only only thing that I could think to tell him was, Jeff, that feeling you get that comes over you. Why don't you just hold on to that? Forget everything else. Just draw nigh under there. That feeling there. Listen.
Yeah. See where it takes you.
There was a woman one time. She was at a well. And Jesus come to her, and again, this woman didn't know who he was. But there was again something about him that spoke to her. And he had a little conversation with her. And they started talking there, and the woman said, I know that one day the Messiah is going to come. I know that one day Christ will come and he's going to tell us all things. And Jesus told her, I that speak unto thee am he. Listen. And you know what? When she left in there, she ran back to her people. Listened to the people there, and she told them, she said, I'd come and see a man which told me all things that I ever did. Listen, all the good and the bad. He told me all things. Listen, surely this man is the Christ. And you know what? While she was gone, Jesus, his disciples prayed to him and sang, Master, you need to eat something. Listen. And you know what? He answered and said, I have meat to eat that ye know not of. And they wondered to themselves, who gave him? Has anybody give him something to eat? We ain't seen him take a bite. Listen. And Jesus answered and said, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me and to finish his work. Listen, aren't you glad that while we're here on earth, he feeds us from his table? Aren't you glad that he's never left me wanting? He's never forsaken me. Simon, after Jesus had come and gone, and they had crucified him, and they'd put him in a temple, and 3 days later, that stone was rolled away. Can you imagine what was going through his disciples' minds? They were so confused. They thought that Jesus had come and was going to save the entire world, but then he was taken from them. Can you imagine this man that they walked hand in hand with and seen the things that he'd done, and now he was taken from them? I bet you had some pretty dreary people. Listen, and you know what? Peter was with his brothers there, and he looked at them and said, I go fishing. I want to go back and do the only thing that I know how to do. He was a fisherman. Listen. And his disciples said, well, take us with you. Listen. And you know what? When they was out fishing, listen, they caught nothing. All night long struggled and toiled away people. And when they decided, well, let's just go back land, listen, there was a man standing on the shore. And before the ship even got close, listen, Jesus asked them, children, have ye any meat? Listen, and you know what? They answered him, no, we've got nothing. No doubt they thought he was a beggar or something, come to get him a meal. Listen, but he said to him, you cast the net on the right side of the ship, and ye shall find. You better believe, listen, that Peter remembered just a few years ago that simple commandment that Jesus gave him. Listen, you better believe that he remembered.
He went to pull that net in, he remembered.
And he brought the net up, and it was so full they couldn't even bring it up on their own. And there was one of the disciples with him there in the boat, and he looked at Peter, and he said, "It is the Lord."
Yeah.
It is the Lord.
Yep.
And you know what? They started getting that boat ready and heading it in the shore to come see him.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the way, and this is the point I'm trying to get across this morning, the drawing power. When Peter found out that it was Jesus, he didn't wait for that boat to make it to land. He dove over the edge and began to swim to him. Because you can read here throughout this entire Bible where when Peter was with Jesus, he was strong. Listen, isn't that the way we are this morning? When I feel the Spirit, I feel strong. Dry unto it this morning. How long halt ye between two opinions? And you know, when Jesus told them, he said, "You bring the fish that ye have caught." And he said, "You come and dine." And they had a little meal there. And Jesus looked to Peter, and he said, "Peter, lovest thou me more than these?" "Yea, Lord, I love you." And he told him, he said, "Then you feed my lambs." And he asked him again, "Simon, Peter, son of Jonas, lovest thou me?" Peter said, "Yea, Lord, you know that I love thee. Then feed my sheep." And he said unto him a third time, "Simon, lovest thou me?" And it cut Peter. He was grieved. And he said unto me, "Lord, thou knowest all things. Thou knowest that I love thee." And he said unto me, "Then feed my sheep." That is our duty this morning. I'm going to get out of the way and let Chad come. But I'll never forget the day we was in church, and I was still on the outside looking in. I had given up so many things. Quit going out with my friends. Started trying to pray.
Thought that was the answer. Keep it all up.
Stopped listening to my music, and I love music. I love to play the guitar, and I quit. Won't even do that, God, if that'll take this emptiness away.
Didn't work though, did it?
But you know what? There was still something.
Not what it's about.
There was still something missing.
That's right.
And you know what? I'll never forget that Sunday in church. I was sitting on the side with Rachel, with my sister. I'd watched my older brother, my older cousins, even my younger sister come and give their hand, listen to the church. And you know what? I knew exactly where I was. Listen, how far away that I was. You know what, Dad? You got up. It wasn't the close of the meeting. You stood up and you started singing that song. Once I was weary and the world had turned me down. Not a friend could I find. Listen. And you know what? Something inside of me said, "I'm right here." What are you holding on to? Just get up. People, I didn't wait for the church doors to open. Something got a hold of me, and I stood up, and I don't even remember walking. But you know what? I interrupted that little meeting there. But when I stood up and said, "I can't wait any longer," you talk about bonds.
That's right.
You talk about feeling free for the first time.
Let go of the world.
I've never had any reason to turn back. I've had troubles. I've had struggles, but I've never had any reason to turn back. I love each and every one of you, and I don't know anyone's heart this morning, but I feel like somebody's on the outside looking in. I felt that way last weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like there's someone here this morning that needs to come home. I don't know what you're holding on to, but I can promise you that it's not worth it. You know what? Joining this church ain't going to save you.
Nope.
Joining this church ain't even going to make you a Christian.
Just a home.
Listen, but you know what I found? When I put my hands on the plow, I've never, complained about the work. I've never, I felt that I can't go on because when I get tired, when I get weary, my Lord, He strengthens me.
Yeah.
And He feeds me that meat. You come on, Brother Chad.
Well done. I'm good.
God bless you, son.
I'm good.